Imagine a world where the secrets of the universe are hidden in plain sight, encoded in patterns, shapes, and proportions that surround us every day. What if the key to understanding the cosmos, the divine, and even your own soul lies not in words or doctrines, but in geometry? Throughout history, mystics, sages, and philosophers have whispered of a sacred language, a universal code that connects all things. This language is not spoken, nor is it written in the way we understand. It is drawn, etched into the fabric of existence itself, and it is known as sacred geometry. But what makes geometry sacred? Why have ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Greeks, from the Hindus to the Mayans, revered certain shapes and patterns as divine? Could it be that these forms are more than just mathematical curiosities? Could they be the fingerprints of creation, the blueprint of reality itself? In this video, we will embark on a journey into the hidden power of sacred geometry. We will explore its ancient origins, its profound philosophical implications, and its practical applications in your spiritual and everyday life. You will learn how sacred geometry is not just a concept, but a living, breathing force that can transform the way you see the world and yourself. By the end of this journey, you will understand why the circle, the triangle, the spiral, and the golden ratio have captivated the minds of seekers for millennia. You will see how these shapes are not just symbols, but portals to higher understanding. And most importantly, you will discover how to harness the power of sacred geometry to align your energy, awaken your intuition, and connect with the divine. So, are you ready to unlock the mysteries of the universe? To see the unseen and hear the silent symphony of creation? Then let us begin. Sacred geometry is not just a study of shapes. It is a study of the soul of the cosmos. To understand the hidden power of sacred geometry, we must first journey back in time, thousands of years, to the ancient civilizations that laid the foundation for this mystical knowledge. Across cultures and continents, sacred geometry was revered as a divine language, a bridge between the material and the spiritual. Let us begin in ancient Egypt, where the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a testament to the profound understanding of geometry. This structure, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, is not merely a tomb, but a geometric marvel. Its proportions align with the golden ratio, a mathematical constant that appears throughout nature, art, and architecture. The Egyptians believed that geometry was a gift from the gods, a way to harmonize human creations with the divine order of the universe. Travel eastward to India, and you will find the mandala, a sacred geometric pattern used in Hindu and Buddhist traditions. The mandala is more than an intricate design. It is a spiritual map, a representation of the cosmos and the self. Each layer of the mandala symbolizes a step on the path to enlightenment, guiding the practitioner inward toward the center, where the divine resides. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Pythagoras taught that numbers and geometry were the keys to understanding the universe. He famously declared, "All is number," suggesting that the cosmos is governed by mathematical principles. Pythagoras and his followers studied the relationships between shapes, sounds, and vibrations, uncovering the harmony that underlies all existence. The Pythagorean theorem, the study of musical intervals, and the concept of the golden ratio all emerged from this school of thought. Even in the Americas, sacred geometry played a central role. The Mayans and Aztecs built pyramids and temples that aligned with celestial events, using geometry to connect their structures to the movements of the stars. These ancient architects understood that geometry was not just a tool for construction, but a way to align human activity with the rhythms of the cosmos. But why did so many cultures, separated by time and geography, arrive at the same conclusion? that geometry is sacred? The answer lies in the patterns of nature itself. Look closely at a sunflower, and you will see the spirals of its seeds arranged in accordance with the Fibonacci sequence. Examine a seashell, and you will find the golden spiral, a shape that expands infinitely while maintaining perfect proportion. From the veins of a leaf to the structure of a snowflake, nature speaks the language of geometry. These patterns are not random, they are the fingerprints of creation. They reveal an underlying order, a cosmic intelligence that governs all things. To the ancients, studying geometry was not just an intellectual pursuit, it was a spiritual practice. By understanding the shapes and patterns of the universe, they believed they could align themselves with the divine. Sacred geometry also appears in religious and spiritual art. The rose windows of Gothic cathedrals, the intricate tile work of Islamic mosques, and the yantras of Hinduism all reflect the belief that geometry can evoke a sense of the sacred. These designs are not merely decorative, they are tools for meditation, portals to higher states of consciousness. In the philosophical traditions of the Hermeticists and the alchemists, sacred geometry was seen as the blueprint of creation. The circle represented unity and wholeness, the triangle symbolized balance and harmony, and the square stood for stability and the material world. These shapes were not just abstract concepts, they were living symbols, each carrying profound spiritual meaning. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of sacred geometry, remember this: the shapes and patterns we see in the world around us are not separate from us. They are reflections of the same divine order that exists within us. By studying sacred geometry, we are not just learning about the universe, we are learning about ourselves. To truly grasp the hidden power of sacred geometry, we must first understand its essence. Sacred geometry is the study of the patterns, shapes, and proportions that form the foundation of all creation. It is the blueprint of existence, the architecture of the cosmos, and the language through which the divine speaks. At its core, sacred geometry reveals that the universe is not chaotic or random. It is deeply ordered and harmonious. This order is expressed through specific shapes and ratios that appear everywhere, from the smallest atom to the vast expanse of galaxies. These shapes are not just mathematical abstractions, they are the building blocks of reality itself. Let us begin with the most fundamental shape in sacred geometry, the circle. The circle is the symbol of unity, infinity, and wholeness. It has no beginning and no end, representing the eternal nature of the universe. In many spiritual traditions, the circle is seen as the divine womb, the source from which all creation emerges. Imagine a single point in the void, a point of pure potential. When this point expands outward, it forms a circle, symbolizing the first act of creation. This is the foundation of the flower of life, one of the most iconic symbols in sacred geometry. The flower of life begins with a single circle, and through a process of overlapping and expansion, it creates a pattern of interlocking circles. This pattern is said to contain the blueprint for all life, as it holds within it the shapes of the Platonic solids, the golden ratio, and even the DNA helix. The next shape to consider is the triangle. In sacred geometry, the triangle represents balance and harmony. It is the first shape that can enclose space, symbolizing stability and the union of opposites. The upward-pointing triangle is often associated with fire and the masculine principle, while the downward-pointing triangle represents water and the feminine principle. When these two triangles overlap, they form the six-pointed star, or the Star of David, a symbol of the union between the material and the spiritual. Now let us turn to the square. The square represents the material world, the physical plane, and the four elements: earth, water, fire, and air. It is a symbol of stability and structure, often used in sacred architecture to ground spiritual energy. The square is also associated with the number 4, which appears in the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 seasons, and the 4 stages of life. But sacred geometry is not limited to simple shapes. It also encompasses complex patterns like the golden spiral, which is derived from the golden ratio. The golden ratio, or pi, approximately 1.618, is a mathematical constant that appears in the proportions of the human body, the arrangement of leaves on a stem, and the spirals of galaxies. The golden spiral, which expands infinitely while maintaining perfect proportion, is a symbol of growth, evolution, and the infinite nature of the universe. To make these concepts more tangible, consider the human body. The proportions of the human body follow the principles of sacred geometry. For example, the ratio of the length of your forearm to your hand is approximately the golden ratio. The same ratio can be found in the spacing of your facial features, the structure of your bones, and even the rhythm of your heartbeat. This is why the human body is often referred to as a microcosm of the universe, a reflection of the divine order that governs all things. Sacred geometry also reveals itself in sound and vibration. When a violin string vibrates, it creates patterns that correspond to specific frequencies. These patterns, known as cymatics, form geometric shapes that mirror the principles of sacred geometry. This is why certain sounds and chants, such as are considered sacred. They resonate with the fundamental patterns of creation. As we explore these shapes and patterns, it becomes clear that sacred geometry is not just a study of forms, it is a study of relationships. It shows us how everything in the universe is interconnected, how the smallest particle is a reflection of the whole. It is a reminder that we are not separate from the cosmos. We are an integral part of its divine design. Now that we've laid the foundation of sacred geometry by exploring its fundamental shapes and patterns, let us dive deeper into its profound implications and lesser-known aspects. Sacred geometry is not just a study of forms. It is a key to understanding the hidden structure of reality, a bridge between the physical and metaphysical realms. One of the most fascinating aspects of sacred geometry is its connection to the Platonic solids. These are 5 three-dimensional shapes: tetrahedron, cube, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron, that are unique in their symmetry. Each of these shapes is made up of identical faces, edges, and angles, and they are considered the building blocks of the universe. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato believed that these solids corresponded to the 5 elements: fire, earth, air, water, and ether, or spirit. For example, the tetrahedron, with its sharp, pointed edges, represents fire, while the cube, with its solid, grounded structure, represents earth. The dodecahedron, with its 12 faces, was considered the most sacred of all, symbolizing the etheric realm and the divine. What makes the Platonic solids so extraordinary is that they are not just abstract concepts. They are found throughout nature. The molecular structure of crystals, the arrangement of carbon atoms in a diamond, and even the shapes of viruses reflect the geometry of these solids. This suggests that the universe itself is constructed according to these sacred patterns, as if they are the scaffolding upon which reality is built. Another profound concept in sacred geometry is the Merkaba. The word Merkaba comes from ancient Egyptian and Hebrew traditions, and it translates roughly to light spirit body. The Merkaba is often depicted as 2 interlocking tetrahedrons spinning in opposite directions, forming a 3-dimensional star. This shape is said to represent the energy field that surrounds the human body, a vehicle of light that can be activated to achieve higher states of consciousness and even interdimensional travel. The Merkaba is not just a symbol, it is a tool. In many spiritual practices, meditating on the Merkaba or visualizing it spinning around your body is believed to align your energy field, activate your higher chakras, and connect you to the divine. It is a reminder that sacred geometry is not just theoretical, it is deeply practical, offering techniques for spiritual awakening and transformation. Let us now turn to the concept of fractals, another cornerstone of sacred geometry. Fractals are infinitely repeating patterns that appear at every scale, from the microscopic to the cosmic. Imagine the branching of a tree. The pattern of the branches is mirrored in the smaller branches and even in the veins of the leaves. This self-similarity is a hallmark of fractals, and it reveals a profound truth about the universe, that the whole is reflected in every part. Fractals are not just found in nature, they are also present in the human experience. Consider your thoughts and emotions. A single thought can branch out into countless others, creating a web of interconnected ideas. Similarly, your actions ripple outward, influencing others in ways you may not even realize. This fractal nature of reality reminds us that everything is interconnected, that the smallest act can have cosmic significance. Sacred geometry also has a deep connection to the concept of vibration. In the 18th century, a scientist named Ernst Chladni discovered that when he sprinkled sand on a metal plate and vibrated it with a violin bow, the sand formed intricate geometric patterns. These patterns, known as Chladni figures, are a visual representation of sound frequencies. This discovery reveals a profound truth. Sound creates form. The universe itself is said to have been created through vibration, as many spiritual traditions teach. In the Bible, it is written, "In the beginning was the Word," and in Hinduism, the sound Om is considered the primordial vibration from which all existence arises. Sacred geometry shows us that these vibrations are not random. They follow precise patterns, reflecting the divine order of the cosmos. Finally, let us consider the spiritual implications of sacred geometry. When you study these shapes and patterns, you are not just learning about the external world, you are also exploring your inner world. The same geometry that governs the structure of galaxies also governs the structure of your soul. The circle, the triangle, the spiral, these are not just symbols, they are archetypes, universal truths that resonate within you. Sacred geometry teaches us that we are not separate from the universe. We are part of its divine design, woven into the fabric of existence. By meditating on these shapes, by observing them in nature, and by incorporating them into your spiritual practice, you can align yourself with the harmony of the cosmos. You can awaken to the truth that you are a microcosm of the macrocosm, a reflection of the infinite within the finite. Now that we've explored the profound concepts and mysteries of sacred geometry, let us turn our attention to how you can apply this knowledge in your daily life. Sacred geometry is not just a theoretical framework, it is a practical tool for spiritual growth, self-discovery, and alignment with the universe. By working with these shapes and patterns, you can harmonize your energy, deepen your meditation practice, and unlock new levels of awareness. 1. Meditating on sacred shapes. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to connect with sacred geometry is through meditation. Begin by choosing a shape that resonates with you, perhaps the circle, the flower of life, or the Merkaba. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Visualize the shape in your mind's eye, or use a physical representation, such as an image or a crystal engraved with the pattern. Focus on the shape, allowing its symmetry and balance to fill your awareness. As you meditate, imagine the shape expanding outward, connecting you to the universe, and then contracting inward, bringing you closer to your inner self. This practice can help you align your energy field, calm your mind, and access deeper states of consciousness. Over time, you may notice that the shape begins to reveal its deeper meanings to you, as if it is a living symbol communicating directly with your soul. 2. Creating a sacred space with geometry. Sacred geometry can also be used to transform your physical environment into a space of harmony and balance. Consider incorporating sacred geometric patterns into your home or meditation area. Place a mandala or flower of life design on your altar or wall. Use crystals shaped like Platonic solids or engraved with sacred patterns to amplify the energy of your space. Arrange objects in geometric patterns, such as a circle or a triangle, to create a sense of order and flow. These small changes can have a profound impact on the energy of your space, making it more conducive to meditation, creativity, and spiritual practice. 3. Using the Merkaba for energy alignment. The Merkaba, as we discussed earlier, is a powerful tool for aligning your energy field and connecting with higher dimensions. To activate your Merkaba, try this visualization exercise. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Visualize 2 interlocking tetrahedrons spinning around your body, one spinning clockwise and the other counterclockwise. Imagine the Merkaba filling with light, creating a protective and energizing field around you. As you breathe deeply, feel the energy of the Merkaba aligning your chakras and connecting you to the divine. This practice can help you feel grounded, balanced, and spiritually attuned. It is especially useful during times of stress or when you feel disconnected from your higher self. 4. Observing sacred geometry in nature. Sacred geometry is all around you, waiting to be noticed. Take time to observe the patterns and shapes in the natural world. Look for the spirals in seashells, the symmetry of flowers, and the fractal patterns in trees and rivers. Spend time in nature, allowing its inherent geometry to inspire and heal you. Reflect on how these patterns mirror the structure of the universe and your own inner being. By observing sacred geometry in nature, you can cultivate a sense of wonder and connection to the world around you. This practice can also serve as a reminder that you are part of a greater whole, a living expression of the divine order. 5. Drawing or creating sacred geometry. Engaging with sacred geometry through art can be a deeply meditative and transformative experience. Try drawing a mandala or the flower of life by hand. The process of creating these patterns can help you focus your mind and connect with your inner self. Use tools like a compass and ruler to create precise geometric designs, or let your intuition guide you in freehand drawing. If you enjoy crafting, consider creating sacred geometric patterns with string, wood, or other materials. The act of creating sacred geometry is itself a spiritual practice, one that allows you to embody the harmony and balance of the universe. 6. Chanting and sound healing with geometry. As we discussed earlier, sound and vibration are deeply connected to sacred geometry. You can use this connection to enhance your spiritual practice. Chant sacred sounds like Om while visualizing geometric patterns forming in your mind's eye. Experiment with sound healing tools like singing bowls or tuning forks, which create frequencies that resonate with sacred geometric patterns. Pay attention to how these sounds affect your energy and emotions, and use them to align yourself with the harmony of the cosmos. 7. Journaling your insights. As you work with sacred geometry, keep a journal to record your experiences and insights. Write about the shapes and patterns that resonate with you, the emotions they evoke, and the changes you notice in your energy and awareness. Over time, you may begin to see connections and patterns in your own life that reflect the principles of sacred geometry. By incorporating these practices into your life, you can begin to unlock the hidden power of sacred geometry. These shapes and patterns are not just abstract concepts, they are living tools that can help you align with the divine, awaken your intuition, and transform your reality. Sacred geometry is more than just a study of shapes and patterns. It is a profound journey into the very fabric of existence. It reveals the hidden order of the universe, the divine blueprint that connects all things, and the infinite wisdom encoded in the world around us. From the spirals of galaxies to the veins of a leaf, from the proportions of the human body to the vibrations of sound, sacred geometry is the silent language of creation, speaking to us in every moment. As we've explored today, the circle, the triangle, the golden ratio, the Platonic solids, and the fractals of nature are not just mathematical curiosities, they are reflections of the divine. They remind us that we are not separate from the cosmos, but are deeply interconnected with it. By studying and working with sacred geometry, we can align ourselves with this universal harmony, awaken our inner potential, and deepen our connection to the divine. But sacred geometry is not just something to be admired or studied, it is something to be lived. Whether you meditate on the flower of life, activate your Merkaba, or simply observe the patterns in nature, you are engaging with the sacred. You are stepping into a world where the mundane becomes extraordinary, where the ordinary reveals its divine essence. So as you move forward, I encourage you to look for sacred geometry in your everyday life. Notice the symmetry in a flower, the spirals in a seashell, or the patterns in the clouds. Reflect on how these shapes mirror the structure of your own being. And most importantly, take time to connect with these patterns through meditation, art, or simply quiet observation. The power of sacred geometry lies not just in its beauty, but in its ability to transform the way we see the world and ourselves. It invites us to step into a deeper understanding of reality, to see the divine in all things, and to remember that we too are part of this sacred design. As we close this journey, I leave you with this thought. The universe is not random. It is a masterpiece of geometry, a symphony of shapes and patterns that reflect the infinite intelligence of creation. And you, dear seeker, are a vital part of this masterpiece. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the hidden power of sacred geometry. If this video has inspired you, I invite you to reflect on what you've learned, try the practices we've discussed, and share your experiences in the comments below. Together, let us continue to uncover the mysteries of the universe and awaken to the sacred within and around us. Until next time, may you walk in harmony with the divine patterns of creation.